this as a part of the management education itself, because subjects like business ethics, subjects like being compassionate at workplace, or even looking at sustainability does not exist in most management education programs, and it's important to include this right through as a part of the education itself, so that when they venture into workplace, they're able to apply this at workplace and are be more effective leaders, and not just focus on numbers and not just focus on business aspects of growth alone, but also look at people, environment, complete communities, look at it from a more holistic perspective. So from that perspective, it's a very good initiative.
I think it's a wonderful initiative as well, and certainly we had a very attentive audience, so one hopes that the students were receptive to what was being said. And I would definitely say that ethics is a very important area of any activity, and especially business as well. There's no reason why you shouldn't have it there. In fact, the definition of a good professional is really someone who is also ethical in the way they conduct themselves professionally. So that's very much a part of any kind of identity, whether you're working in a business or whether you're working for yourself.
So it was already open to board, and I saw this gentleman who must be 66, 67. He said, Ganesh, I came to buy something to the store next to your house, and I had parked my car at the wrong place, and then my car is gone. My money was in the car, so now I don't have enough money to actually get the car back. So can you lend me $250? I said, I don't have that much of cash at home, but I can certainly help you, and I help that person to get that money and get his car back so that he could return the money. And then he told me that he really felt bad because he lost his job. I said, okay, but I said, say, Ganesh, I'm just running on my savings and I really don't have enough money left. And when you took over the company, you said, you would lay. You said, we are not that kind of an organization. We don't lay off people, we take care of people, we make sure whether they have business or no business, we still carry people on, because in 2 years down the line, just because we have no business or no further profit, that's not a good. I was in my casuals and I was completely taken off. I was just staring at it, and then I realized the kind of damage we had done to him and to many other people like him, where it was a business decision, where because we implemented it in a business-like fashion, without any fashion, without giving a second thought how people will survive, how people will make their ends meet, how they will meet their financial commitments, etc. And in the process, we had affected many families. So many leaders, it's important to understand that compassion plays a very important role when you think of mergers and acquisitions. The decisions, the rationale for the business, but in implementation, it's important to understand that people are involved. And where people are involved, the decisions may be driven by business and by the environment, but in implementing it is the people who matter. So in all mergers and acquisitions, from that day onwards, we have made sure that we focus a lot more. Make sure that whatever commitments we make, whether oral or whether it's written commitment, that we honor every single thing. We make it a point to understand what are the commitments. We are not concerned about those written commitments, because that's there on paper and we know what were the commitments that were made and we can honor them. But I'm more concerned about those commitments which are verbal in nature. So we make sure that we honor those commitments. And it's important for us to keep this aspect in mind. The people aspect. I've seen a lot of acquisitions where, about last year I was involved in an acquisition in the US where the projected revenues were about $30 million. It was a small entity. We bought that entity for about $22 million. The revenues expected were $30 million. It's a healthcare organization which provides back-end support to hospitals in the US. 1 year down the line, from $22 million, it's from going to $30 million. It's come down to $60 million. Simply because we lost some key people, and those key people might go to the organization. Where people are concerned, if you continue to use the business tool and not show compassion to their needs, concerns, and aspirations, your business models are not very different. That's an important thing to remember. The third, leaders are expected to drive change. And change is always disruptive. It's seamless, it's painless to very few people. For a large number of people, it can cause a lot of anxiety, uncertainty, which shows what's represented. And those areas cannot be addressed by a rule or by the sitting closet. You need to really understand what are the aspirations and expectations of every single employee who's going to be affected by the change, and how you can plan interventions, design interventions to address those their uncertainties, their apprehensions, their fear. And in many change initiatives, you are so focused on the numbers. That applies in budgets and applications also. Whether it is implementing change or whether it's implementing any merger, you're so focused on the numbers part of it that you completely lose sight of people in it. And numbers don't really change, it's people who drive change. And that's another area where I see while change is essential to business, change happens in the change is something very, very constant. It happens every few years. And then you are changing the structure, changing the business model, changing your plans, whatever you do. One thing that's constant are that people are involved in it, and people by and large their concerns, their apprehensions, their fears, their expectations are all the same. They're not very diverse. But if you don't have a clear plan, if you don't have a clear strategy to address those at a very individual level, it can cause a lot of disruption. And many of your well-planned models, all your expectations in terms of numbers can go for a complete. So that's a concern. In this world where organizations are becoming fully global, diversity is a huge leverage that leaders have. In India, one of the biggest aspects about diversity is hiring as many female colleagues as possible, helping women to be a part of, allowing women, I would say. So helping is not the right word. Allowing women to be a part of your workplace, an equal part of your workplace, that's an important aspect. A large number of women professionals in India, a lot of them are getting educated, a lot of them are very skilled, a lot of them are highly capable, but most organizations believe that this particular business environment is not meant for me. I represent one such male-dominated industry. In my earlier organization where I was at, women were almost 40% of the workforce. But the current industry which I represent is highly male-dominated. We are in this old-fashioned economy, this good old economy of burning coal to generate power. We are in the business of generating power from thermal power plants. That's believed to be widely a male-dominated. There's no place for women. Simply. Now, the moment you do that, you're closing the doors on n number of engineering graduates, women who are studying electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, they just don't have any jobs. I happen to present IIT Delhi for campus recruitment, and we are recruiting students of chemical background. And you will be surprised that almost all the guys have found jobs, and none of the girls have found jobs. And then I asked them, they said, well, organizations like to come, interview all of us, and then finally they go for guys who have scored less points, less percentage. And here we are, the top rankers. Instead, in that particular batch, the first, second, and third rank had won students. And those three were jobless. As a guy who was at the 22nd rank, the 26th rank, they had to find jobs. And the girls were left out. That actually reminded me of an experience when I was a worker. Way back in the year 2000, I had been to this campus, RSC Rokela, and we had done those interviews, we had selected the candidates, and unconsciously, or maybe consciously, I had recruited all guys on day one. And next year morning, at 7 o'clock in the morning, I had gone for a walk in the Steel City campus, and I was coming back to the guest house, and I saw about 70, 80 girls standing there at 7 in the morning. I thought something has gone wrong. I was actually scared, so I asked what happened. At 7 o'clock in the morning, they all argued with me that why do we do this? Everybody does this. Every single organization comes to our campus, they recruit all the guys, and they say, here we don't get opportunities at all. And we are better, we are performing better in the interview, we have done better in the written examination, but we don't get jobs. That I took a decision and said, fine. I told all my panel members, try to have as many girls as possible. And many of them, they're very attention-way, like in my organization, they said, what have you done? I'm not going to sign, I said, I'm not going to sign the offer letters because all these girls, none of them will join. Because none of them will go beyond their home state. They are not going to come all the way to Karnataka, Maharashtra. They won't go beyond themselves. So this is our advantage. We're not going to get any of those girls. Trust me, after 10 years, when I moved to work in the US, those girls came there on deputation. And one of them called me, do you remember me? I said, yeah, I do remember. She said, I've actually come to Baltimore now, so I'm going to work with you here. I was like, shocked. But this girl has actually come all the way from Rockella to Bangalore, and Bangalore 10 years down the line, she's actually more and she's come a long way. That's great. There's a huge talent pool available outside in the market. Like many leaders are still very average. Simply because security concerns, can I allow girls to work late, can I go, no, they get married and then they go away, after marriage, they get pregnant and then they again out of action. Productivity gets affected. That's what people believe, even in a multinational company like Worker. Oh no, Ganesh, she's newly married. Anytime she comes to me and says, I'm expecting that there's nothing I can do. I have a lot of problems, I can't deal with this kind of cases, so that's not fair. But by thinking so, by acting so, we are shutting doors on a large number of population. And a country cannot truly progress, I strongly believe, if you don't allow women to be an integral part of the economic development, the economic progress. You cannot be an entirely male-dominated society and expect that you will succeed in progress. That's not going to happen. You look at West, you look at Europe, from a bus conductor to an executive, you find so many women everywhere, cops, drivers, everyone. You'll be surprised to see so many of them working. But you won't find that happening now. You want to give jobs to women, you will like, okay, make one cent for reception as a secretary or a receptionist, and that's it. I don't want executives. Now, that's a challenge that one has to keep. Now, if you're going to encourage women to be a part of your workforce and leverage on that diversity, get the most from that benefit, you've got to be compassionate. You cannot ask your women workforce to work late in the night because you've got to understand that safety is a huge concern in our country. Anybody who's married, who has a family, and if they need vacation, a day off, time off, we don't question it. We make that extra effort because you've got to understand that it's a male-dominated society. And women have to manage family, children, etc. and also succeed at work. They also have aspirations, they also have expectations. They have to do both, and they are not going to get much help from men at home. So you got all of them that, yeah, if she goes at 5:30, you don't make fun of her. You let them go at 5:30. If somebody says that my son is in school, I go to rush home, yes, you would appreciate that. You can't say, well, you are work, I can't worry about the children. You got to let them go. So, in leveraging diversity, it sets up a huge population. And we've got to tap on that, we've got to encourage them, we've got to make them be a part of your workforce. But at the same time, you've got to be understanding, you've got to be compassionate towards their needs, towards their problems, social issues and constraints. There's another large population, a population of people who are different in the world. People who have physical challenges, but then because of that, you cannot keep them away. You've got to employ them, you've got to make them part of your workforce. So that unless people see that they are making money, people see that they are economically independent, they are not going to get any respect from our society. It's important for you to understand. I was fortunate to start my career with Titan Industries, which even today is one of the largest employer of physically able people. Almost 90% of the workforce were physically able. Every single watch that you wear is fixed to the strap, it's packed, it's polished, it's done by a person who is either has a hearing impairment or who has a physically challenged. But the organization made effort to have, out of 4,500 employees, we had 650 or 700 people who had physical disabilities. So, but the organization made effort to train the supervisors. They sent them all the way to National Institute for Hearing Handicap in Bombay, trained them in sign language. All the supervisors and managers were trained in sign language. And in the manpower requisition form, decide what kind of people you need, skill sets, technical qualification. And then you would ask, can a woman do this job? The The moment the person picks that job is reserved for him. And next to that question, the last question was, can a person with physical disability do the job? The moment you say tick, that job is gone. By doing so, by working closely with many organizations, National Institute for Visually Handicapped, Hearing Handicapped, etc., ITAN has developed a large team of managerial talent who are able to deal, interact, and effectively communicate with those who have physical challenges and make them a part of the regular workforce. So that's another huge talent. I'm aware of organizations like Abilities Foundation, etc., which is doing a lot of work in helping them find jobs. Rajiv Gandhi Foundation is doing that. I know people, personalities like Charlie Ravi, etc., who are pushing for employment of people with disabilities in many organizations. I'm not equating the two, but it's important for leaders to leverage on this diversity. It's a huge population, a large number of women who are equally competitive, equally educated, equally qualified, equally skilled, equally ambitious. But by checking the doors, you're closing yourself from a large part of the population who can be very productive. And also applies to people with various physical challenges, etc. So diversity is a huge challenge in our organization. India is also a country which is at the threshold of development. You have people, a lot of people from very poor background who are part of still the Indian economy. Their parents are farmers, parents are still doing farming, and children are the first generation of beneficiaries who are going to colleges, who have need education, but then they may not look as polished, as street smart as most of the urban kids do. But then many of them get rejected. They're extremely intelligent, extremely talented, bright people, but then because the way they speak, the way they dress, in terms of their appearance, they still look frugal. Most IT organizations don't have that. And I feel very sorry for all the students, very brilliant students. We go to the very, very remote areas to have such students for our college. Because it doesn't matter whether you can speak or not, it doesn't matter how good your English is, it doesn't matter, nothing matters. Are you good in studies? What's your technical background? You have the right technical skills and knowledge. The rest of it we will take care of it, we will move you, we will develop you. That's another large population. If you look at all those pockets of various groups, who are socially disadvantaged, nothing wrong with them, they're good. But we have catered to artificial barriers around them, and we have labeled them as not fit for workforce. So if you look at all those groups, if you're able to tap this talent, if you're compassionate towards them, if you're able to integrate them with your workforce, I think you're doing good for the country and you're doing good for your organizations. So that's it. Another important mandate that all leaders carry is to develop and nurture talent. You have people from diverse backgrounds, you have people with all kinds of skill sets. But she said a very important point. I don't know how many of you made note of it. Every individual is unique. Please remember. Every single individual is unique. In terms of what they can do, what they cannot do, what their expectations are, what their aspirations are. Every single person is unique. That's the most fundamental truth. No two people are same. And if you recognize that, it's important that when you're coaching talent, when you're mentoring talent within your organization, people need opportunities. You have raw talent. You want to groom them, mold them, develop them for your future business needs. And when you're doing that, you've got to be coached. And that's an important area where and especially in the kind of industry we represent, the infrastructure industry. There's a huge infrastructure, and whenever you're working in the infrastructure industry, the whole environment is very hostile. It's no fun to build highways in country. In summer, it's extremely hot. Winter is cold, and in harsh climatic conditions, you don't have access to good food, good quality of housing. People work in very, very remote areas. You'll be surprised that the areas where we set up our power projects in Chhattisgarh, the cause of that, the maximum number of deaths are due to snake bites. That doesn't, you don't hear such things in Guru. Only people have heard of dying because of snake bites. But that happens in Chhattisgarh. Second, the second most important cause, lightning. Have you ever had anybody dying of lightning in Guru? No. But you go to Chhattisgarh, you go to those tribal areas where we work. When the monsoons start, when you hear the thunders, people actually get scared. It's a very, very different kind of place. The terrain is very different. So you work in very, very difficult conditions, harsh conditions. People don't have good food to eat, you can't ensure good quality of housing, good quality of food, transport, nothing. There's nothing to do. This is a very remote areas. As leaders, when you are ensuring that your organization delivers performance, we make sure that we are compassionate towards the basic needs of our employees. Or we ensure that we are able to provide good quality of accommodation. Are they getting the right kind of food? Are their medical needs and basic social needs are being taken care by us as an organization? Because you don't understand the environment in which your talent pool is operating. And when you look at it from their perspective, you realize that we need to address a lot of areas which is not defined in your policy manuals, in your processes, in your workflows, in your process maps. It doesn't exist. You've got to look beyond it. You've got to look at directly into their needs and then see how you can design your workflows, your processes around their needs and not try to force them. Most important aspect that I see, which is grossly missing, which I want to touch upon finally, is about creating a work culture in which the basic niceties still exist. In the kind of competitive environment in which most of us operate, there's no room for niceties in our organization. Absolutely no. Just focus on your work, deliver on your goals, and then go back. Do I have time to be nice to you? Do I have time to be polite to you over emails, over phone calls, over my Blackberries? No. You'll be surprised that sometimes when we see the kind of messages we come across, some of the kind of communications that goes extremely rude, nothing nice about it. But they are politically correct. It's giving a message that you are supposed to deliver this, but you are not delivering this. Why the hell are you not delivering this? Messages. That's what it's supposed to be. But can we be nice to you? Can we be nice in every little thing that we do? And for some reason, for some strange reason, the whole thing about being nice in organizations is completely lost. Completely lost. And I realized that in my earlier organization as well as in my current organization. We spent a huge amount of time thinking, discussing, deliberating, arguing how we can bring back this being nice into your workplace. Why do we have to be so rude? Why do communications have to be nice? Why are people so vindictive? Oh, you write this kind of a nasty email? Here comes my response. Even more nastier than that. Okay, even more stronger than that. Okay, so you hit me this time. Okay, I'm going to remember this. I wait for the right opportunity. Next time you make a mistake, I'm going to come back to you and be. Culture has become very, very vindictive. You start taking revenge on people, starting being very unishful. So it's kind of a very different kind of an environment that we are creating, where there's absolutely no room for being nice. And that is something we're trying hard to do. That in every single interaction, in every little thing we do, whether it's a business plan or whether it's an organization communication or any change initiative that we want to roll out, can our leaders be nice? And if somebody is not nice, what will you do about it? Can you take action? Can you articulate what are those behaviors in your organization that does not qualify as being nice? And what are those behaviors? For example, it's very simple. For example, harassment has always existed at workplace. Even sexual harassment has existed. But now, people have become more aware about it because somebody has made that they articulate what are those behaviors that qualify for sexual harassment at workplace. So the moment you read those behaviors, you become more cautious about it. You become more careful. Well, I'm not supposed to say this thing. I'm not supposed to do these things. I'm not supposed to share this kind of issues. So therefore, I want to be careful. Similarly, we have started articulating behaviors. What qualifies being nice in an organization and what are those behaviors that is not nice in an organization and therefore it's unacceptable. Now, the moment leaders start doing this and start demonstrating that, and people around can see that this is something that is not acceptable, not encouraged, not appreciated in this organization, change starts. Then people start being nice to each other, people start respecting each other, and you start creating an organization where people enjoy going to work and look forward to coming back again. A very old study, I'm sure most of HR graduates and business graduates will know about this, that people don't change jobs or leave organization because of money or career prospects, fancy titles. The single most important reason is because when you work. And if that person is not a good person, that's a good enough reason for you to change jobs. So your supervisor, your manager is a very important role in retaining talent. And in a competitive country like India, retaining talent is extremely important to sustain. That's an area where leaders are an important role. And the last one is a commitment to the community around you. You're taking away acres and acres of land for your infrastructure projects, large projects, and across the country you can see protests from people that they don't want to keep their land, spare their land for any kind of project. Simply because if you look at it as a very opportunistic relationship between you and the organization. I'm paying the money and they're giving the land, and in return I'm giving them jobs, I'm giving them some compensation, so the relationship ends. It's a business relationship. Now if you start looking at it from that perspective, it will become another case like Osco, it will become another case like so many projects which are going on for long and have made no progress simply because the communities are not allowing them to set up their business in our country. So building, creating sustainable, long-term livelihood opportunities for the communities around you, recognizing the fact that along with you that they have, in this whole relationship, only two people are problem, the community and the industry. People like me will come and go. I will be there today, I may not be there tomorrow. Same thing will happen to so many people. But two people, your industry is going to be there and the people around you are going to be there. So if that relationship is not mutually beneficial and if both are not going to reap the benefits of the industry's existence there, none of the industries will serve.
So I'm sure the audience has a lot of questions to ask. So in the interest of time, if we open the floor
Sure.
for questions. Yes, questions.
So you began your speech by saying the topic of compassion in a business organization. Now, in any business organization, the main motive has to be profit. A business is undertaken to gain profit. Your main motive is profit. Compassion and social work, everything else comes later. So, if that business organization, you start showing compassion to say employees, that somewhere or the other will take a toll on your performance, which in turn will affect your profit. So, in that kind of business organization, is compassion to a level which is portrayed by Matt today possible?
It's actually a myth to believe that there's no room for compassion in business. Absolutely. I mean, you can focus on growth, you can focus on success, you can focus on market share, you can focus on improving productivity. You can do all of this, achieve all of this while continuing to show compassion towards people. It's possible, both can coexist. To assume that only there's a place for one and there's no place for both to coexist is a method. If you make an effort, if you try for it, you will be able to strike the perfect balance between the two. And there are n number of examples around us, n number of organizations who have been able to. But if you believe that there is no room, then there are n number of organizations which will support your business. That also does exist. But it is possible to do really nice and still grow and still achieve success. To believe that there is no room for both, to believe that in business, in growth, in competition, there is no room for being nice, that's a myth.
Also, like in a country like India, where it is very well, a lower middle class man is barely making both ends meet, is working 17 hours a day, as you said. Is it possible for how will that person take time out for compassion, even if he has a will for it? Where is the other time?
A very simple example. Many of us, we have no room for compassion, as long as we are fine. The moment something unfortunate happens to us, we want the entire world around us to be compassionate. That's a bitter truth. You never think of God until something goes wrong, and then you want to be right next to God sooner. That's why I said, treat everyone the way you would like to be treated. Ask yourself every time that if I was in that situation, if I were in that situation, would I like to be treated better? If the answer is no, then please don't do it. Whatever you are planning to do, don't do it. So there may not be any rule, but unfortunately what happens is that all of us are human beings, and at the core of human beings, if you just remove all those material expectations, aspirations and everything, all of us want to be loved, all of us want to be cared, and all of us want to be treated nicely. Okay, and everything else is secondary things. Would you want to work in an organization where people treat you like nothing, but then pay you well, give you fancy business cards? I'm sure a couple of months you will like that. After some time you will start disliking it. You will start disliking it, trust me. You will say, can I get all this money, can I get all this fancy cars, benefits, etc. If you don't treat me nicely, I'm not going to work for you. I have a number of examples. We have so many senior resources coming to us, joining by taking salary cuts of 25%, 30%, joining us in 1 grades below, simply because promoters of those organizations did not treat them well. And that person said, if you don't treat me nicely, I'm not going to work for you. N number of cases.
Saying that, asking yourself if you would want to be treated that way is a win. If you have to build to be compassionate. But where is somebody who's working 15 hours a day, have the time to exercise that will?
True, but you've got to allow yourself that. But you've got to allow yourself to develop within you. It has to come from within.
Where's the time to do that?
I just like to tell you that, you know, where we see compassion in our work, we see it amongst the most disadvantaged. We see it amongst the most poor. We see it amongst the people who are really struggling. And the reason for that is because they are aware of the fact that they are dependent on others, that their well-being is defined just beyond themselves. So that you find in the duties where we go, someone is sick, the neighbor who can ill afford it is cooking for that person, is helping that person. So it's not something that is related to how much you earn or how long your working hours or anything. It's something that's within you, that you cultivate, that you nurture, and that you prize. You must think also it's important for you. And for that to happen, it's of course the family that you come from. It's also the fact that you're working for an organization that gives you an opportunity to build those relationships, to nurture and to feel that side of you. But finally, it's about you. It's about what you want from your life. It's about what you think is of value to you. And in that sense, it's your priorities. And if this is something that you feel is important, that you want to experience, then you have to work on developing it.
Pretty simple thing. Almost everyone will get a management degree. Please get a management degree, you learn new theories, new degrees, everything happens, and then you become a marketing professional or a business professional, HR professional, etc. And you start working. When you start working, you will ask yourself, am I going to just do my work just like that? Or am I going to do my work with a certain set of values? What are my basic right or wrong? I mean, what are my core principles? What is it that I will do and what is it that I will never do? For example, if you are at home, if I ask you, go steal money from me, will you do it? You say no. Go take a knife and hit that person, cut it. You say, no, I'm not going to do that. But that doesn't mean nobody else is doing it. There's so much of robbery around us. There's so many people attacking each other with sharp weapons. All those things keep happening. But why is it that some people do it? Some people don't do it. You go around and just go pick up a street fight with somebody who just hit your car or a two-wheeler and then slap that person, get into a huge physical fight using all kinds of vulgar words, filthy language. How many of you would do that? Most of you may not. But many people, but many people do that. You come across such situations in the streets. Some of us do, some of us don't do because we operate with a certain set of values, and some of us don't have those values, don't share those values. So similarly, when you get to working, you can ask yourself, what kind of person am I going to be at workplace? Will I be compassionate towards people? Yes or no. Will I be fair to people? Yes or no. Will I treat people in a particular way? Yes or no. So you got to build your own list of values, and it doesn't matter which organization you work for, it doesn't matter what are that organization's values, you make sure that you as a professional always operate with a certain set of values. Otherwise, you will be an empty professional who will just blindly do whatever the organization or the supervisor expects you to do. Yes.
Sir, so you said that basically people who live in rural areas can take good marks and they are able to, they're worthy of getting a job in a good industry or a company. So basically, they don't have the street smarts that people in urban areas have. And so if an industry or if a company employs such people from rural areas who have got really good marks, won't it be a liability for the company? Because basically they are showing compassion towards rural people, but because they don't have the street smarts and the way to talk to people, they don't have the right qualities to do their job. But they have good marks, nonetheless.
An important responsibility of every single organization is to spot talent, hire them, and then develop them. You've got to nurture the talent, develop them. I'm sure every single person who has the potential, given the right kind of training, right kind of opportunities, they will definitely be on par with this. But simply because that they have studied in government schools or they have studied in vernacular medium, they don't have that exposure. Because of that, if you shut doors on them, it's going to be difficult. But the raw intelligence exists in each one of them. The potential is there, intelligence is there. So with the right kind of training, you'll be able to exploit the talent and be able to achieve greater success. But if you keep on saying that I want students who lead from urban areas, who can speak English well, who can dress well, whose appearance are like they look smart, so I hire only them.
Basically, if you do so and if you employ only people from urban areas, you are not showing compassion towards the rural people who come from rural areas.
It's not such a simple straight line. There are pockets of talents. You got to tap into all those pockets and give everyone an equal opportunity. I'm not saying you have only people from urban areas or you have people only from rural areas. No. You got to have the right talent. And when you come across such talent from remote areas, rural areas, backward areas, don't shut your door. Give them also an opportunity so that they can also be a part of your workforce.
Can we take one last question, please?
Sir, I just want to have a simple question for you. Like, does humility go along with competition, or is it an integral part of competition? Compassionate people always.
I would say yes.
I will agree, definitely. You have to have humility. That's a very important requirement for you to be compassionate. Because humility is what allows you to be self-reflective. To look inside yourself, be ready to understand your own failings and your failures, and to be able to reach out to another person and see them as an equal. And really, I think, for me, really compassion at the end of the day comes down to an approach that doesn't make assumptions, that is all-embracing, that is not discriminatory, And for that to happen, you have to have humility at the base of it. That's very important. If you think you know everything, you're right up there, you know what's good for the company, you're the only one who matters and counts. I think that's a very narrow way of thinking. You're not going to get very far.
Success, money, and fame, everything is momentary. At the end of the day, we all are human beings and we wanted to be treated nicely, and we all want to, at the end of the day, you want to have a loving family, a loving community, loving neighborhood. So that's all you want. The rest, everything is very, very momentary. Every success you achieve, once you achieve that, you realize that's not what you're looking for. So it's important to look at life beyond success at workplace and look beyond career prospects, look beyond money, benefits, etc. And look at life from a much wider perspective. And focus on that and not lose out of this rat race and focus very narrowly on what you can get out from your workplace or how many material goods you can accumulate or carry with you, but that's not what you're going to carry with you at the end of the day. So it's a very, very important message, but I don't know at this age how many of them will be able to relate to it.
I think it's important because at the end of the day you really have to be able to face yourself and to look back on what you have done with a sense of pride.
And the dignity.
And dignity, very important. And as you rightly said, someone said you come into this world naked and you leave it naked. But what you have been able to do in terms of inspiring others, in terms of contributing to a sense of well-being of others, and the love you've been able to spread, and the compassion you've shown ultimately lives on.